October is not traditionally a time for graduations, but last month a unique ceremony was held in Springfield. The graduates included ex-offenders who are transitioning back into the community. They were part of the all-inclusive support services program at the Hampden County Sheriff's Department, which has come a long way since its inception more than 20 years ago. Connecting Point's Hershel sat down with the program's assistant superintendent and a recent graduate to find out more about how this program is transforming lives in our community.
It was actually founded in 1996 and was the first correctional authorities wraparound support service in the country. So we've been doing that for a very long time, and as you point out, our name now means all-inclusive support services. We were previously focused on after incarceration support, and we continue to be focused on those kinds of barriers and issues that people might confront after serving time, but we're more inclusive than that. Sometimes folks come in and find us after they've had an episode of treatment, after there's a crisis, or simply after they've decided that they need a hand up with something like employment or housing or social support.
So today you don't have to be an ex-offender to get involved in this program, is that correct?
That is correct. We are a drop-in center. We're at 736 State Street, the old Johnson Life Center on State Street, and folks can come in any morning of the week to register to become a member of the services that we offer.
Can you give folks an idea of what kind of services are available to people, whether you're an ex-offender or not? If somebody comes to the Sheriff's Department, to this program, what's the parameter in terms of services that are available to them?
Well, we aim to be a one-stop hub where at least the connections can begin to get made for folks. And on some level, the most important thing we do is to provide a connection and a relationship. So when folks choose to become a member, they would get a case manager, and we assess with that person what their needs are. It tends to fall into the categories of either employment or housing and sort of residential stability related, or all the social supports that folks need.
Okay. Now, I know the program has a graduation ceremony every year. You've had it for the last 23 years. Okay. And you've had many, many success stories, one of whom is sitting in the studio with us today, Melissa Phelan. Thank you for joining us, Melissa.
Thank you for having me.
Can you tell the folks who are watching a little bit about your own background, how you became involved in the system, and how it's helped you transform your life? But give us a little idea of your background.
Well, all of my history with the system was not voluntary, and with incarceration in the past, I ran through AISS years ago. So I went away, I sought help, and I readdressed their help and their assistance, and in finding more of an avenue of trust from the familiar faces and the dedicated staff members, I was able to get involved and benefit.
What do you think it was about the program that you found most effective in terms of helping you in your personal situation to help transform your life and move it forward in a positive way? What was it about the program that sort of connected with you?
Definitely the dedication of the people who work there. Their dedication, and they were welcoming, and they were still there from years prior. They were just still there. They were the same people and determined to get me on track.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about the program's inclusiveness now for everyone, not just ex-offenders, but for everyone who feels that they might need some assistance, help in some way, shape, or form, being able to participate in the program now?
I think that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. I think that with the epidemic and all the men and women going through the recovery process, the extra help is vital today.
Mm-hmm. Would either of you have any thoughts, suggestions to anyone who might be watching this program, who might think, maybe this is a program that could help me. I've got A, B, C, certain issues or whatever. Maybe I could get some help from this program. What advice would you have for folks who might be contemplating something like that?
Well, I would say give us a try. Come in and see how it feels to you, because everyone's in charge of their own timing, and we are not going to dictate to anyone who walks in our door what they need. But we are able to help meet people and make the connections and sort of make the introductions that might be supportive of them. As human beings, we don't usually change alone. And if we do, it's harder than it needs to be. So undertaking the challenges of life, and there are a range of them, and as Melissa points out, you know, our communities right now are really suffering. You don't have to face those monsters all by yourself. In fact, it's much better if you allow someone the privilege of walking that journey with you, as we've had the privilege to walk with Melissa.
We talked about the graduation, which was recently held. Can you tell us, and you're a proud graduate, obviously, Melissa, tell us what that was like, that graduation, seeing so many people there who have been helped through the program, seeing so many people there as part of this graduation. I understand you had hundreds of people there.
We had about 500 people
Yeah,
this past
500.
Thursday the 24th. It was beautiful, and it's been my favorite night of the year for 25 years, my entire career, because having the opportunity to celebrate people's courage and tenacity and resilience is just a beautiful thing. What'd you think?
I thought it was really exciting. I'm a local girl, and I've seen faces from throughout the years. And people are proud when they get to come through this and feel good about themselves and reconnect to life.
Yeah. In doing some of the research, I was doing some reading, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I read where over the years, this program has helped something like 30,000 people.
34,000. We have reached 34,000.
That's an incredible number in terms of the need and the people who have passed through the system.
Incarceration is sometimes necessary. It's just part of what happens, and regardless, there's the day after. We focus on the day after, or the day before, when possibly by addressing your needs, you end up, let's say, not violating probation and not going to jail. So we can end up sort of offering an alternate path as well.
What about the future of AISS?
Well, we seem to be growing, and part of what our growth does look like and should look like is connection to other agencies. So there's so much good work being done by our partner providers. We have about 300 partner providers who are doing great work out in the community. Sometimes a person may need something simple like a one-stop shop where you can come in and get connected to a range of services. So if anything, we would like to be able to serve more people, but also leverage that connection to many other of the good providers that are happening out in the community. Yesterday, I was walking through the parking lot, and a gentleman was coming through, and he had a sort of a signature plastic bag, and you can kind of tell if somebody just got out today. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't wrong. And he had done more than 2 decades of state prison time. And he found his way to us on the day he got out. And so I was able to talk with him and tour him through the building, and he did come back this morning to complete his registration. He's now a member. That transition is always going to be a really challenging one, and it's what we focus on as a specialty, but people are in a difficult point from many different walks of life. Sure. And if we can be of service, that we just want to keep doing that.
And as I said before, Melissa, you're one of the obvious success stories of the program. As your life is transitioning, what are your goals for the future? What do you see for yourself down the road, in years to come?
I really foresee myself helping others through my experiences. I want to bring the same kind of hope that's been brought to me. It was the familiar faces, as she said, passing through one day and turning around to lean on the support of those same individuals. They are dedicated, and they've shown me that by seeing something in me that I wasn't able to see at the time, and stand by waiting for me to open up and let them in, I have, and now the journey begins, and that's why I can even sit here today and talk about anticipating a future.